Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Sterling versus Science. I'm Sterling, glad to have you here. This is my first video. Today I'm going to be distilling milk here and find out what happens. That's a great intro by me. This general setup is we have the round bottom flask in the bottom there. It's going to hold the milk and it's going to collect heat from the oven. And then that's going to hit this thermometer up here. That's how we're going to monitor the temperature. Then as it cools down, it's going to go down this column into the other round bottom flask here, which is where the distilled milk is going to collect. Obviously I'm not pouring this right now because I'm doing a nice voiceover, but this is, I'm just going to pour in the 2% milk now. That started off cold, and we're going to use this Crisco vegetable oil as a way to transfer heat from the oven to the round bottom flask in like a uniform way. If you just put it like straight on the stove top, it's gonna potentially like break your glassware because you're not having uniform heat distribution. So I'm gonna use this. It has a high smoke point too, so it shouldn't catch on fire. So I'll reassemble the apparatus together. We'll put the distillation column back on, and then its clip as well. Get that heat all the way at 11. Yeah. At first, it doesn't really look like anything to me. I mean, it's just like you're slowly adding heat. It takes a while. There's quite a bit of liquid to heat up. And then after maybe like 10 minutes, I start to see that there's a little bit of condensation going on there. And it gets more and more, of course, as the milk heats up. Now the condensation is becoming a bit bigger. Again, it's water. It's the only thing that should be condensing right now is water. So it'll be clear, not white, as you might think. But the thermometer says it's still like room temp. So nothing is hitting that yet. And droplets are still getting bigger. And now the condensation is becoming more and more. Those droplets are getting bigger, and they're running down at higher rates, which means we're getting close, right? The milk is starting to separate its water portion from its the fats and sugars that are in there, and our coil, or our condensation column is starting to get some liquid pouring up in there. And an interesting thing that happens around here while I'm filming is I see a bunch of droplets, and suddenly this thing, some kind of effect where the heat just was forcing too much of the water to evaporate, and suddenly it's creating all like these bubbles in the milk that are suddenly like being forced through the column. Ahead of schedule, a bit ahead of schedule. It's not great, but there's nothing that really, while I'm filming, there's not much I can do besides just kind of watch and hope that that it resolves itself. Which, look at that, it's starting to move down the column. It's my first collection right there. But I mean, it's a little unfortunate. It got a little bit more of, I think, some of the sugars and fats that are in milk that I was not intending. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that maybe the flavor is going to be a bit different than if it were just the water from the milk. I'm not too unhappy about this. I really came looking for definitely a strange experience, and I think I'm going to get that. And as you can see, the temperature is now reading at like a solid 100 degrees Celsius, which means that our water is in fact boiling quite well. This is, I mean, if the clues weren't pointing you in the right direction enough. And we're just collecting more and more of our milk distillate. And this is the overview of the apparatus here. It's kind of slowing down now. I kind of turned down the heat when it kind of overreacted there, because I wanted to make sure that it was mostly water. Because I gotta taste this afterwards, right? So I don't want to like taste this nasty, like gross milk, which as you'll see. But so I'm trying to improve my own situation. You can see at this point actually that there's like little flecks of solid stuff building up on the sides of the glassware there at the top. And that's kind of gross. I don't know if that's curds. It smells like trash. It does not smell good. It kind of smells like seafood, to be honest, which is, from milk, is not a good thing. Well spoken, my friend. That guy's great, isn't he? Now you can see there's like some flecks. There's more flecks, and there's also like some like yellowing brownness towards the bottom of the flask, like it's like caramelizing almost. And here, there's a whole bunch of nasty like solid stuff building up, and it's all, the bottom is like black with just like caramelization, which is the process of sugars breaking down due to heat. And there's definitely quite a bit of sugars and fats in milk that are able to do this. This is looking really nasty. At this point, I'm getting quite discouraged. I'd already drinking a bunch of milk in trying to do the intro. You gotta. I don't really like the milk that much, right? I don't drink it every day. But here's the collection flask. It's looking nice. It's pretty clear for what it's actually distilling from, in comparison. So I'm a little motivated by that at this point, but I'm still kind of dreading the idea of it. And at this point now, you can see that like all those little white flecks are almost completely covering the entire flask. They're even coming up into the distillation column, also known as a Vigro column, if you want to get technical. And it's just kind of a mess. There's a lot of water and milk that's just building up in my glassware. But I'm mentally getting prepared to drink it at this point. Here's both the flasks afterwards. On the left is the, of course, distillation flask, looking really nasty and burned. It's just like almost charcoal in the bottom. So I'm gonna collect some of this in my vial so I can have some later, so I can always look back at these nice times. So remember, we started with this, just straight milk, 2% actually. It's pretty good. I used to drink that all the time as a kid, and now we have this. I've never drinking from a round bottom before, so okay. Flavor profiles. I give this a 1. No, I give this a 2 out of 10. I could drink that to survive, but that tastes terrible. I'm never doing that again. That doesn't taste like water or milk. It tastes like crab that's been sitting outside for days on end. Alright everyone, thank you for tuning in to my first video. I thought it was a massive success. I had a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun cleaning right now, but as per the usual, like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what I should be distilling next, or at least trying to distill, or if you want to see anything else from me, that would be cool. So thanks for checking me out. I'll see you next time. See ya.